Hello, everybody. Well, the weather has been really funny lately, hasn't it? And I was just watching on the news. We're going to have some more really bad weather tomorrow. And it's scary because it seems like the weather just gets more wicked and more wicked. I hope the storm that we have tomorrow is going to happen during the time that I'm at work. Um, I feel pretty secure at work. In other words, at my job, I'm in such a place to where I can't really hear what's going on outside. If it is a bad storm, and I'm traumatized with thunderstorms anyway. Anybody that knows me knows I'm scared of a thunderstorm. Yeah, I'm terrified of them. Some people are not. My kids are not, and I'm surprised that my kids are not scared of them because I've always been that way. So I'm surprised I didn't pass that along to them. But they're not afraid of it. They'll go right on outside in it and do what they got to do, but not me. I remember in 2003, I think it was, we had a real bad storm while I was at work. And we keep some of our storage in an outside storage bin. And so I had gone outside that day to get something. And it had gotten real dark while I was out there looking for whatever it was I was looking for. And I found what I was looking for. And I come out of the storage building to go back into the building, and the back door was locked. And I couldn't get in. And all of a sudden, the wind started blowing, and there was this loud howling noise. It was the wind, and it sounded real funny. And it started pouring down rain. So I ran back into the storage building, and then I was thinking, it started getting real bad, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, the wind is going to blow this place away, storage building away, and I'm going to be killed out here all by myself. And so finally I heard somebody hollering at me, and I looked out of the storage building, and somebody at the back door had been way up the hall, and they had seen me trying to get in. They ran down there and let me in. So I go running into the building, and no sooner did I get into the building that the alarm started going off, and they called a code black. They was announcing a code black. That was the only time since I've been there that we've ever had a code black called, and I've been there going on 12 years. And so code black, is weather related, like a tornado. So we all stop what we're doing. We got to go on the halls and take all the residents out of the rooms and bring them out to the hallway and shut off all the doors. Well, when we left my department and go out into the dining room, the rain was sideways. I've never seen sideways rain before. Not just coming down at an angle. It was literally sideways. And it was just as dark as nighttime out there. And it was scary. It was real scary. And then there was reports of that after that a tornado had crossed some interstate. I work right across from the interstate. So, and there was a lot of downed trees and stuff. So I'm pretty sure something happened there. And that's only a mile from my house, but luckily there was no damage down here in the park. I live in a mobile home park, and you always hear horror stories about them, and that's what traumatizes me. I know a couple of weeks ago, when we had, there was two tornadoes that went through Pulaski, Virginia, where my brother lives, and I posted pictures of that on my Facebook. But that was just scary too, because that's a small town and nothing ever happens out there. But that was bad, and that's going to traumatize me even more because just the week before that, we were supposed to have bad storms like at 4 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, I'm scared of storms anyway. It ain't even got to be bad, but it woke me up like 2:20, and I sleep with my TV on. So in my dream, I'm dreaming that I'm being chased down a street by some tigers, and then a man with a bullhorn or a megaphone was, saying, "Please seek higher ground, please seek shelter immediately," and blah blah blah. And I was running to get away from these tigers. Well, what woke me up was I heard beep beep beep, and it was coming from the TV. And so I sat up, put my glasses on, I'm trying to focus, and it's going across the top, and it said, a tornado warning for High Point, Jamestown, Greensboro. And the first thing I thought was, I remember I looked up the clock and it said 2:20, and I'm thinking, it's not 4 o'clock because the weather had said storms would arrive around 4. I said, it's not 4 o'clock. And about that time, the wind slammed up against the house, and I jumped up, and the first thought that went through my mind when I jumped up was, I can see how people die in their homes in the middle of the night. I can see how they do it. I had no place to go. It happened that quick. I had no place to go. And so it was just real hard, and the wind was raw. I could not distinguish whether it was the wind blowing or whether it was thunder. I couldn't tell what it was, which one of the two it was. It was so bad. So I text Joey. He was at work, so I text him and told him, you know, I don't even remember what I said. I must have said something about being scared of the storms. And he called me, and he said that his phone was about to die, that they had no power there at his work, so he couldn't charge his phone up. And so I was talking to him for a minute, and he said power had been out on High Point Road for a while. And he said a tornado could be coming straight at him, and he would never see it because it was so dark there. Because he works at the Ramada. And so we talked for a few minutes, and then I called my daughter. She lives here in the park too, but she lives down on the other end, and she was still up. And she was like, she said, the wind. I said, I can't tell if that's the wind or if it's thunder. And she said, it's the wind. She said, but the wind sounds like it's growling. And that was scary. And I come back here to my bay windows, and I opened the blinds, and the wind and everything was just, it was vicious. But it only lasted like, I don't even think it lasted 5 minutes. I don't think it did. The lights flickered a couple times, but it didn't last no more than 5 minutes, if it lasted that long. But I know the power stayed out on High Point Road from about that time all the way up until almost 4 o'clock the next day before they got power restored. There was a lot of downed trees and stuff, and me and Joey went and took pictures for you all here on Facebook. You saw my pictures of him sitting on that big tree and stuff. That was some uprooted trees and stuff that we had seen. And so that was pretty scary, but we're supposed to have another storm tomorrow, and I am traumatized. I can't stand the storms. It's a good thing I don't live in Kansas. I would never make it. I just wouldn't. And in Florida, I don't see how they go through all that in Florida. Now, hurricanes, I think I would rather deal with a hurricane than I would a thunderstorm, really, or tornado threats. I'm real scared. But they say that you can, if you're in a mobile home, to leave and seek shelter. There's no place. At my job, I could always go to my job because, you know, if there was a tornado, then I would probably be needed there anyway. And that's only a mile from my house. But if it comes up all of a sudden like it did during the middle of the night, I'm screwed basically, unless I want to run outside and go across the road and hop a fence and go up under a bridge. But that's in the flood zone, and then the river always runs down under that bridge and floods it anyway, so I'm either going to get blown away or I'm going to drown. And not sure which one I'd rather do. I hope I don't get blowed into the water and then drown. That kind of suck. You'd be going out both ways then. But I'm pretty scared when it comes to storms. I can't think of anybody in my family really that's really scared of storms the way I am. And the wind basically is another thing that scares me. I remember a couple of years ago, when was it, 2007? No. My mom was still alive when this happened, so this had to have been either 2004 or 2005 that we had straight line winds come through here. And it was on a Sunday, and it was a nice day. It had been a beautiful day, and the sun was still out, and I was getting ready to go back to the bedroom. And just all of a sudden, just the winds were here, and it sounded like the roof was coming off. It was just real scary. And the TV and all the lights started browning out, you know, not flickering and not blinking. And I'd never seen a brown out. You hear about them in New York, but I'd never seen one. But it's like the TV would go out and on, out and on. I said, what the hell? And it scared me so bad that I ran back to the bedroom and I got in the closet. And so my daughter called me, And she was like, Mom, what's going on? I said, I don't know. And they had never even said anything, but they'd never forecast that in the weather. It was like nobody saw it coming. And so I said, I don't know. And so finally, I was talking to her on the phone, then the power went out. Everything went black. And she tried to call me back. Well, that was a cordless phone that I was on, and the phone that is a corded phone was in the kitchen. I wasn't going to run all the way back to the house to answer the phone. So she's calling me here at the house and letting it ring and ring and ring. And so I'm back in the bedroom in my closet, and I'm going through my pocketbook to get my cell phone so I could call her and let her know I wasn't going to answer that phone. And when I called her from my cell phone, and she acted like she was all out of breath. I said, did you try to call me? I said, I wasn't going to go through the house to get the phone. And she said, yeah, that was me. And I could hear this loud noise. I said, where are you at? She said, I'm on my way to your house. So she was running all the way from her house, all the way down here to my house. Because she was scared, I was scared, and I wasn't answering the phone. And she said, I was like, oh God, please hurry. So she said a couple times she was on her hands in front of her like that running because the wind was just knocking her down so bad. So she came down here and stayed. Power stayed out for a long time. About midnight, she went on home. The power was still out, but the wind had died down and stuff. And when I opened the door to see what the damage was out there, you could see steam coming out of your mouth where it got so cold. And that was a warm spring day that day. But it had gotten so bitter cold. And everything on my patio, I had the statue out there that had withstood hurricanes and everything. But that statue, along with everything on my patio, was all blowed into a corner and into 1,000 pieces. At least I didn't have to go far to sweep it all up because it was compiled nicely into the corner. But I missed that statue. Anyway, tell me some of your storm stories and such. And everybody thinks I'm crazy for being scared of lightning, but lightning kills. Lightning kills. Stay away from that stuff. Anyway, so tell me some of your storm stories, and I know I'm just babbling. And so, until next time, bye-bye.